In this Poetryburst video, we will study Storm on the Island by Seamus Heaney. First, let us read the poem. Storm on the Island. We are prepared. We build our houses squat, sink walls in rock and roof them with good slate. The wizened earth had never troubled us with hay, so as you can see there are no stacks or stooks that can be lost. Nor are there trees, which might prove company when it blows full blast. You know what I mean. Leaves and branches can raise a chorus in a gale, so that you can listen to the thing you fear, forgetting that it pommels your house too. But there are no trees, no natural shelter. You might think that the sea is company, exploding comfortably down on the cliffs. But no. When it begins, the flung spray hits the very windows, spits like a tame cat turned savage. We just sit tight while wind dives and strafes invisibly. Space is a salvo. We are bombarded by the empty air. Strange, it is a huge nothing that we fear. In this poem, the writer describes the human community on an island preparing to face a storm. The whole concept of the poem is about the way that humans prepare through building and through gathering together and through hiding and waiting out the storm. And the storm throughout is referred to as a kind of attack. Through this poem, the writer explores the power of nature and the way that nature can battle and dominate human life. Human beings believe that they have power in the face of nature, but we are often arrogant and mistaken in this. This poem is also about the unity of community and the power of nature. It questions the permanence of human society. We build together. The poem is full of the pronoun we, and yet throughout it also seems to believe that that may not last, that being together is not enough. The poem emphasises the fragility of human existence, fragile suggesting that it can be easily broken. There are some critics who believe the poem is a reference to Stormont. The first 9 letters of the title spell that out, which is the Irish Houses of Parliament, and the political trouble in Northern Ireland as it tried to break away from the UK. Let us look at our first quotation. We are prepared. We build our houses squat. Here, the writer describes the preparations that the community have taken over the long term. The verb prepared and the semicolon are an important part of this quotation, and so is the pronoun we, which is repeated twice. The pronoun we evokes a sense of community. They are united. The verb prepared makes them seem confident and powerful. The shortness of the opening line, ended with the emphatic colon, emphasises their confidence. However, the adjective squat might imply that they have already had to submit to nature's power. The houses are low, and they cannot build tall houses for fear of the weather. There is a subtle sense of arrogance and overconfidence in the face of nature within this poem. As it unfolds, the verbs relating to the islanders become more passive. They sit and they wait, while the storm becomes ever more aggressive. In our second key quotation, the flung spray hits the windows, spits like a tamed cat turned savage. Here we have the idea of something domestic that we're familiar with, which becomes dangerous unexpectedly. We have the verb hits, and then important words in this quotation include the adjective tame, which is part of the simile like a tame cat, the verb turned, which begins a new line in the poem, and the adjective savage. Throughout the poem, the storm is described using verbs which link to war or violence, such as hits in this quotation. The idea of turned suggests that humans can be shocked by nature. The simile of the tame cat implies that humans only believe that they have beaten nature. It is not true, and nature is simply fooling us. There is a sense of awe within the poem at the power and unpredictability of nature. Nature is respected. The inversion of the image about the domestic cat shows that we are complacent about the power of nature. We have come to believe that we are strong and that we can beat anything, but this may not be true, the poet suggests. In our third and final quotation, we are bombarded by the empty air. Strange, it is a huge nothing that we fear. We see the keywords we, the pronoun, and the verb bombarded. Then the adjective huge and the verb fear suggest a degree of respect. The noun nothing is an interesting element of this quotation, and a huge nothing together forms a metaphor for the storm. The verb bombarded makes the storm seem as if it is an army attacking us from the air. The pronoun we is used again here, emphasising that humans stay united together even when we are threatened. The size of the storm is an odd pair with the noun nothing. However, the fact that we cannot see the storm gives a sense of powerlessness. We cannot act against it because it is not a physical enemy. There is a sense of our smallness, the insignificance of humanity, and our incomprehension in the face of nature. The poet seems to suggest that we cannot understand it, let alone control it.